So tonight is the start of the NFL season. Yes, finally, I've been looking forward to this season. Just like every other season, here comes the Cowboy fans thinking this is their year. I'm one of them. This is the year where Aaron Rodgers is just going to try to survive one more tall blade of grass before he goes out and gets hurt. All these predictions are out there. Who's going to go to the Super Bowl? There's so much to talk about. I'm going to give you my top 10 things I am looking forward to. The most interesting things for me this season. All right, number one. I'm going to call it right now. This February, I'm going to be flipping burgers with my Cowboy spatula, watching the Cowboys not only play in the Super Bowl, but win the Super Bowl. I'm kidding. Ain't going to freaking win. As long as somebody with the last name of Jones is the general manager of the Cowboys, expect a 9-8 season at best. At best, maybe 10-7 with an early exit in the playoffs. Come on. I've already accepted the fact that as long as a Jones is running the business, the Cowboys are not going to go anywhere. So I've been a Cowboys fan forever. I grew up in Texas. Cowboys are my love, but it's not going to happen. So again, another disappointing season for the Cowboys. Number two, talking about Cowboys, Tony Romo. Whoa, he got in trouble. OWI in, I think it was Wisconsin. Could this be the last time we see Tony Romo, as a color analyst? Oh, man. My prediction is yes. In case you don't know how much someone like him makes per year, his contract is for 10 years. He's making $180 million, so $18 million a year. And he kind of started off strong. He was like, everybody loved him. He was predicting plays. Everything was going great, and then he started to slip. And he wasn't preparing like he used to. He wasn't working hard like he used to. And CBS even held a intervention in 2023. He just wasn't cutting it anymore. If you know anything about Tony Romo, he went 2-4 in the playoffs. So they didn't hire him because of his, like Tom Brady was making $30-some million a year. But at least Tom Brady, he gets paid a lot of money, but he won, I don't know how many Super Bowls he won. He won a whole bunch of Super Bowls. I think it's 6 or 7. Regardless, he's got a big contract, but he brings that with him. Tony Romo has 2 playoff wins under his belt. So the fact that they've been trying to get rid of him, and this might be a way out for CBS to get rid of Tony Romo. So this might be the last time we see of Tony Romo. I have a little history with Tony Romo, if you can see here. So anyway, I'm not going to go there. But I'm hoping it's not the end for him, but it might be the end for Tony Romo. All right, number 3, Super Bowl favorites. Rams and the Bills are the preseason Super Bowl favorites. The odds, the Rams are plus 550. And the Bills are plus 1,000. Okay. All right. Now, how much do you put into that, though? If you remember who won the Super Bowl last year, the Seattle Seahawks, they were plus 6,000 in preseason. Who did they play? The New England Patriots. They were plus 6,000 as well. So these favorites, I don't put that much stock into these favorites. It really comes down to, make sure you go injury free. Make sure that, whoever you bring in, the chemistry is good. There's so many variables, but the Rams do have a very good roster. Whoo! And the Bills, their quarterback, Josh Allen. I would love to see that Super Bowl. That would be my favorite. But, it's, like I said, we just never know. It's early on. All right, number 4. Okay, look at me. You cannot laugh. Promise me you won't laugh on number 4, because I laughed really hard. All right, so you guys know I'm from Arizona. So my team, the Arizona Cardinals, I don't live that far from the stadium. I love the Cardinals. Okay, I shouldn't say that. I don't love the Cardinals. I'm lying to you. Okay, I respect what Arizona has, kind of. I enjoy going to the games, but I don't really. Anyways, so check this out. Again, you promised me you were not going to laugh. The Cardinals are plus 100,000 to win a Super Bowl. That's 1,000 to 1 that they'll win the Super Bowl. In other words, if you bet $100 today that the Cardinals are going to win the Super Bowl, you win $100,000. That is how crazy it is. The Arizona Cardinals have less of a chance of winning the Super Bowl than Uncle Rico throwing the football over the mountain. It's just not going to happen. So all my buddies, I know you guys watch. I know you guys are watching here in Arizona. I love you guys, but stop. Just stop. I do like going to pregame. What's it called? The festivities before the game. Pregame in it. I love to pregame. It's really fun. They have a really good area. I mean, it's hot, but whatever. They're just not going to have a good team. All right, that was number 4. All right, number 5, my dark horse. Remember, Seattle was a dark horse last year, and they won it all. I'm not saying this team's going to win it all, but I think they're going to surprise a lot of people, okay? The Las Vegas Raiders. I see something different or special with the Raiders this year. I know they got that new quarterback, Fernando Mendoza. You know who he reminds me of a lot? Is Peyton Manning. What do you know about when Peyton Manning got drafted? If you don't know anything about that, go look it up. When Peyton Manning got drafted, it was between him and Ryan Leaf. And it was the coach couldn't decide, do we get Peyton Manning, do we get Ryan Leaf? You know, they're both 6'5", 200 and some. They were both physically, had great things going for them. But ultimately, they went with Peyton Manning. He was more mature. Mentally, he was different. And he became, Hall of Famer. He's got a great career. Ryan Leaf went second to the Chargers. What did Ryan Leaf do as soon as he got drafted? He went to Vegas to go party. And he's considered one of the biggest NFL draft busts out there. Mendoza mirrors Peyton Manning's respect of the game, preparation of the game, his physical attributes. I don't think he's going to start. Fernando Mendoza, I don't think he's going to start. But I think once he does take starting role as a quarterback, the Raiders, I just have a feeling that'll give me a reason to go to Vegas anyways. The biggest disappointment this season that I predict is going to be the Kansas City Chiefs. I think they're done. Their players have gotten, their star players are aging. They're very expensive. Their novelty is gone. They're not like they used to do things that people were just not used to, but everybody's caught up. Competition's gotten better in their division. Mahomes is coming back from a knee injury, surgery. I just don't see it for the Chiefs. I think they're going to squeak into the playoffs and they get humiliated in the wild card. So I just, all you Chiefs fans, it's over, bro. It's over. All right. Number 7, there are 4 teams that must win now, in my opinion, obviously. And I've mentioned the Rams. The Rams have a tremendous roster, but their quarterback is up there in age. I think it's Matthew Stafford. He's not young anymore. And so they've kind of like surrounded him with a roster, and you got to win this year, man. This is it, Rams. I'm kind of rooting for you, Rams. I'm not lying. I want to go to SoFi. Wait, hold on. The Super Bowl is going to be in SoFi, I think. Come on, Rams. You can do it. Come on. So the 4 teams that I think must win this year, it's got to be the Rams. By that, what I mean by that is like if you don't win this season, there might have to be some changes to the roster, the coaching staff. Something's got to give. Buffalo's another team. Buffalo, come on. You broke my heart last year. This is it, Buffalo. This is win or die right here, Buffalo. Baltimore, you got a new coach. Your quarterback's still in his prime, but you don't have that many more chances. You got to win this year, Baltimore. And then this team kind of I just can't figure out this team, but their window is definitely closing. And then once it closes, you remember, the Cowboys were very successful in the 90s, and then their window closed and it hasn't opened since. And I think this last team they haven't won a Super Bowl, but they've gotten close. And if they don't win this year, that window is shut. And it's going to be shut for many decades. And that's the Detroit Lions. Man, you gotta pull it off, Lions. You gotta do something this year. You don't got much left. All right, this is the big one. Number 8, the big one, the big announcement right here. I can't tell you my sources. I will never reveal my sources. But the halftime performer is going to be Taylor Swift. You heard it. Actually, I don't have any sources. I'm my own source. I just have a gut feeling that's going to be Taylor Swift. Imagine, because we're not going to see Kelsey there anymore in the Super Bowl. So imagine Taylor Swift performing on the Super Bowl field and Travis Kelsey there to support her. Oh, in a little booth. That'd be so cute. Taylor Swift, man, this is the year. This is the year. Number 9. All right, this guy, I used to like, because he played for the Packers and he would always beat the Cowboys, and he's got a great arm and he's got a superior IQ, and he used to be elusive, and then once he got in the open field, he could hurt you with his legs. But this is his final season. Aaron Rodgers. But I think he's one tall blade of grass away from being injured for the season. Now he's, I don't know, 41. I don't know what he is. The only thing that I'm kind of excited for the Pittsburgh Steelers, kind of, because I'm not a big fan of Aaron Rodgers. I don't know. He's just kind of funky. But he's back with Mike McCarthy. Remember, they've won a Super Bowl together. Want to guess when it was? Want to guess how many years ago it was? They won the Super Bowl in February 6, 2011. That's right. 16 years ago. By the time they play the Super Bowl, it'll be 16 years. 16 years ago, they won a Super Bowl together. You think they're going to win one this year? I actually don't. I don't know. I'm not saying no. I'm just saying that here's what I'm afraid of when it comes to Aaron Rodgers. Why I'm not very optimistic about the Steelers is because Aaron Rodgers still can sling that football. He can throw that football so well. He still has a high IQ. Man, he's got a really high IQ, but he's not elusive anymore. And if he does get into the open field, he can't run anymore. Like, he's just like a John Elway out there. In case you know about John Elway, look how many rushing stats he had for an entire season. Just horrendous. I just think that I don't want him to get hurt at all. I don't ever want anybody to get hurt, but he can get hurt rather easily. If he stays healthy, they can be a 9-8 team, maybe even a 10-7 team, and win a wild card game. Oh, that'd be fun. But this is Aaron Rodgers' final season, so try to watch those games. Okay, the last one. This is the last one. If you stay to the end, thank you. Number 10, the new rules. There's always new rules at the end of the season. And I looked at the new rules. Nothing exciting. It's all has to do with kickoffs. And it's not even worth talking about. I think you can, kickoff rules are like, nobody's watching kickoffs anyway. But I want to talk about rules a little bit because I hear a lot of people, they're always questioning the refs. If you know, I ref in the NFL, and so there's always these things that I hear, and I just kind of laugh. In case you don't know what an NFL rule book looks like, I mean, it is massive. I mean, it's just super, super massive, right? And then there's philosophy books, there's like other books out there to help help us refs understand the rule book. Let me explain how rules come about. So for y'all don't know, because this book is thicker and thicker every year because they add new things to it. So, for example, this is what happens during the season. There's like 2004 season. There was a guy from the Cowboys, Roy Williams, and he was tackling guys from the back of the jersey, back of the shoulder pads, and he would pull them down. So the body's going forward, and he's pulling them backwards. And there was just Donovan McNabb, Owens, they all got severe injuries, your knees, your ankles, whatever it is. And so they came up with the horse collar rule. That's where it came from. The Roy Williams rule. It comes from something like, oh man. So I used to always say there's two things. There's two reasons why we have, refs and the rule books. And then later on, I kind of understood it's more than two. It's three things. But one is, you want safety. Safety is very important. It's a very dangerous game. I know you think we have pads. People says, oh, does your helmet protect you? I was like, oh, I never use my helmet as protection. I use my helmet as a weapon. I was going to go hit people with my helmet. It was never for protection. So safety's always key. So that's why we have all these rules. The Roy Williams. We want the game to be fair. The best team wins. And then what I learned later in my officiating career is that it is entertainment, especially at the NFL level. They got to finish a game in 3 hours. So there's rules in there to kind of like get the game going. We want to be in and out in 3 hours because the next game's going to start. And so there's all these rules to fair, safety, and time management, those kind of things, the intent of the game. All right, so we talked about the Roy Williams rule. And then there was also at the same time the Emmitt Smith rule, where he would score a touchdown and he would take his helmet off and he would celebrate. He wanted people to see his face because he's like, hey, basketball players, baseball players, they get their faces all over the time when they're playing. But as football players, they can't see our faces. So he would score and they would take off their helmets like, oh, you can't do that now. So we've got that rule now, right? You can't take your helmet off. Let me give you some other examples at a lower level that I saw when I was working and playing. I'll give you one that I was in some small town southwest of San Antonio, Texas. I was doing a game, and the team comes out in punt formation, and you have gunners at the end, those guys that go down and tackle the punt returner. So the punter gets the ball like he's going to punt, but he doesn't punt. He throws the ball up in the air to make it look like a punt. So the gunners are going down the field, so the defenders are blocking them. Well, it's a pass, buddy. It's not a punt. Well, the defender doesn't know that, but we had to call it defensive pass interference. And I'm like, oh, coach, come on. Really? That's the play you come up with? So, we throw a flag, defensive pass interference. And then once one team sees it, other teams start to do it. And so what happens in the offseason? They have a new rule. You can't, once you're in punt formation, no defensive pass interference. That's how rules come from. Another rule that came from when I was playing, and I always got mad at my junior high coaches, like, coach, just win the game regular. Give somebody the ball, we block, and he scores. They had a play where the coach, and he tells the ref before the game, like, hey, I'm going to call timeout. And then I'm going to bring all the players to the sideline. And then when they come back in for the play, we're going to leave one guy behind, and he's going to be hiding. He's going to be on the field, but he's hiding. The defense won't know that he's part of the play. So on Hut, the coach is like, I'm going to tell him to take off for a pass, and he'll take off for a pass, and we throw it to him. And so the defense never saw the guy on the field. Right? It's ridiculous. And so it was legal in junior high, and then off season, they have a new rule. If you're going to be in a play, after the ref blows his whistle, you've got to come into the field and then come back, to your position. So it's things like that kind of like make the game about like just win the game man against man. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed those 10 things that I am most interested in this season. I want to hear if you kind of like agree with anything or disagree with anything. You Cowboy fans, come on. Let's not even think we're going to win this year. It's not going to happen. I'm a Cowboy fan myself. I mean, I'm also a Cardinals fan, but I might go drop $100 to hopefully win $100,000. It's not going to happen. I'd rather put my money on Uncle Rico. So anyways, hey, do me a favor. Hit subscribe. Hit like. I'm going to be here all season. I'm going to be talking about a lot of things, but definitely going to be talking about the season. Appreciate you guys listening. You guys have a good one. All right, man. Take care. Peace out.